Alrighty, welcome back to phase 3 of building of the Volvo 505 excavator by Bernie222. And today we're going to be doing the arms and then painting them up. This is going to be kind of quick. There's not much going on here as far as the assembly of them. But yeah, let's go through the steps. Slide some of these out of the way. The first step is going to be taking care of the two pieces here, which is going to consist of doing a little plastic welding along the side here. So a little plastic welding along the side here. So that we can start with that. I got my come in here a little bit. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this front part here, just for the fact that once all this gets attached to the steel plate there, it's gonna hold it all in spot. So I'm not too worried about that. So move on to the other one and set that there. I think this one needs attended to. These here, all of these here, and start press fitting them in. So let's get a handful of these. These are M3 by 40 female to female spacers. So just put that in there and run them in. So let's set this off to the side and let's start getting the ones here together. Yeah, that is quite solid. Wow. Okay. I didn't think it'd be that tough to get that on, but there it is. We'll set that off to the side and let's see if this is even any easier to press these on. Alrighty, everybody, we are at this point of going to assemble the two arms here. For the plates here, I just use the STLs as the stencil and just traced them out on some plate steel and then drilled the holes accordingly. And we'll set these out of the way and we'll focus on these. And yeah, they're not too bad to assemble. Just kind of lay them out like so. And we're going to be using some M36 countersunk screws. And we're just going to kind of line up the hole. Kind of forgot what I used here. Let's see what I got here. These are 16s, yeah, M316s. That I'm using for the fronts here, and M36 countersunks for the rest of it. So we'll just start feeding this in here. And then on this side, I did install two 5 by 11 by 4 millimeters, two bearings on each side, two here and two here. And the instructions had me cut these off. Now I don't know why, but I'm gonna actually put these back on. That's why I enlarged this hole a little bit here, so the hole lines up. But I'm actually gonna put this back on here like so, and yeah, because I do have the room to make this happen. Alrighty. And that's the boom. Now let's do the stick. Now the stick is going to consist of these plates also, but they're going to be secured with some M345 screws with some lock nuts on the opposite side. So these are my M3s. There we go. Now I'm using some M50s. Now I'm actually going to cut them down to fit because I'm not about to spend money for some 45s when I've got 50s. So that's my theory. So, all right. So once again, we got the two plates that I just traced on a piece of plate steel, and then cut it out, and then drill the holes accordingly. And we're just going to stick these two together, like so. Now we're also going to be putting some bearings in. Now I kind of screwed up, and I made a boo-boo with these bearings here. Yeah, these two are supposed to be opposite, which puts the bearings on the proper sides. I didn't do that, so I kind of improvised and made a bearing for that side and then a bearing for this side, and then they're just going to be sandwiched in together like so. And then for the back ones here, we just need one 5 by 11 by 4 bearing. Alrighty, and that's it. Now what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll cut these off with a little hand grinder and get it ready for the next step in painting. Alrighty. Let's see if this will line up there. Okay, good. That lines up there. That's for the assembly there. That's for here. Alrighty, and that's for that. Alrighty, we are all set up there. Let's see if these line up. Didn't see if these line up. We'll tweak that out a little bit, no worries. So that's it. That's it. Now moving on to the next part. Alrighty, everybody, we are moving on to the screw rams here, and we've got some parts lined out. I made a little montage of making up the cylinders here. I also had to custom make some screws here. I kind of had to sand down one side of it or grind down one side of it so it'll work. And here's actually a finished product, one of the finished ones. And then all I did was just grind down the top of the bolts here. But this is and then they are cut to 3 different lengths: 180 millimeters, 115 millimeters, and 110 millimeters. And these screws I won't cut down until I have the motors in hand, which is on an airplane right now coming from Hong Kong. So they should be here shortly, probably in a couple weeks, after it goes through customs and all that other good stuff. So I figure we'll just move on to some just kind of assembling these. Now these are some M312 screws with some M3 lock washers. So yeah, I will take this over to the grinder, grind all that up, and then this is the bucket ram, and that just kind of slides right on into there, and then gets attached 5mm there. A little play, but alrighty. And then these are just the ends to make this work. So that's pretty much it. And then the rods here, I will cut the length when the motors come in. Alrighty, everybody. Well, that concludes phase 3 of the building of the arms. So after this, we're going to start building the buckets. And then after that, we're going to start painting. So until next time, keep on RC.